So it looks like FGO is actually swapping up the schedule on us, because we were supposed to actually get the new Huyan event for Halloween, and then we were supposed to get the main interlude a couple weeks after that, but they've actually gone ahead and flipped them. I'm assuming the only reason they did this was because they actually want the Halloween event to be closer to Halloween, who would have thought? But even then, the Halloween 2022 event ran from October 12th to November 2nd, so technically it was still up during Halloween. They just started the main interlude campaign on the 26th of October, towards the end of the month. So I guess they just wanted to hit us with that little yoinky splinky, kind of keep us on our toes over there. But hey, I'm down for it, because we're still getting content at the end of the day, and it should be dropping tonight when this video does go up, as I am now looking at the in-game announcement right now. And so I wanted to let you know, as someone that has played through this event way too many times, being on both the NA side of things and the JP side of things, and with the main interludes, what you can expect going into this event. And it's realistically not all that bad. If you went through the Oku main interlude and you thought it was really grindy, realistically it's just a lot of loading screens in between, kind of exploring around Oku. This one is not nearly as bad. But if you enjoy being up to date on all things FGO related, and you like to see these guides come out, make sure you drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with these daily FGO videos, as it helps me out more than you know, and it's absolutely free. Now, with that being said, let's start jumping into this. So the main gimmick of Imaginary Scramble is, well, at the end of the day, it is kind of like Oku, where it's going to be a clicking simulator, but there's like no loading screens in between. So you're essentially trying to play a game of Battleship where you're revealing parts of the map, and as you reveal parts of the map, you're going to find these big fish, and you go fight some of those fish, and they're going to drop a bunch of rewards and stuff, which is fairly nice. They're not super hard fights, so if you're worried that, oh, my box is not like super beefed up, first and foremost, you have to beat Lost Belt 4 to even get in here, so you should have some decent servants, level to at least have gotten that far, so these guys really shouldn't be all that much trouble, but they will also give you bonuses as you go through some of these fights. For instance, Raiko can give you a Buster buff when you go in with her, or I believe it's Saberfran gives you the quick buff, Lambda can give you the arts buff, stuff along those lines. And there are specific fights where you need to use a specific buff to get through, like the enemy will have 99% damage reduction, where technically, if you want to, you could continually slam your head into the enemy and try to beat them, but they have cumulatively like 400,000 HP between, their break bar and their normal HP bar, so I would just advise bringing the buff that they tell you to bring, and don't worry, yes, they will tell you, hey, we recommend that you bring this buff for this fight. If they don't say that, then that means you can kind of just go into the fight using whoever you want. I did want to go ahead and mention this before we get too deep into the video, but if you are somebody that's a bit more behind and you're wondering, like, oh, can I not get into playing this main interlude? Like, I don't have the gold prisms or whatever have you. If you clear Lost Belt 4, you actually can get this main interlude for free, so don't worry if you're not, like, sitting on any rare prisms or you don't want to spend anything. You can get this for free just by doing that, and again, the story will be cut by a fourth, so you have a very easy time getting through the story, especially if you're a new player, you're, like, level 50 or something, and, you basically do, like, 2 quests or something, and it refills your stamina. So don't worry too much about that. Now, we also will be getting a couple of goodies for this event as well. In particular, there is going to be a command code that I think a lot of people should focus on getting for this. It is going to cost you a rare prism, but it is rather solid. It is called Imperial Consort of the Heavenly Emperor, and it features Yang on the artwork, and it's very, very strong. And hey, with those rare prisms that you're spending, because you don't have to actually, use them to unlock the event, you can get it for free. You can use one of those rare prisms on this, and it will give you 30% crit damage against burned enemies, which, again, very good for Yang herself, but realistically, any servant that you have that can just put burn onto people, or you just give any servant, really, burn command codes to combo with this, they're going to be getting that 30% crit damage, which is an insane amount of crit damage. I mean, that's like Morgan's crit damage, and we all know that Morgan can do some pretty nasty crits. So essentially, you can almost view this as free 30% crit on any DPS that you like. Me personally, I'm gonna be slapping this on my Jolt or Berserker, because if you've used her ever, she likes to put just a smidgen amount of burn on people, and so giving her that a little bit of extra crit damage will be super nice. And speaking of crits, if you're not able to go for those rare prisms, because maybe you just don't have them at the time, there are 2 other command codes. And the first one, I'm gonna try to say this without butchering it, but the Vajra that annihilates desire, sorry for probably butchering that pronunciation for all of my viewers that are in India. I am trying my best over here, but this will give you 10% crit damage, and it will also give you defense ignoring damage on that command card as well, meaning you can basically just bypass any defensive buffs that your enemies are going to have if you have this on there, which again, 10% ain't no 30%, but hey, it is nice. I mean, 10% crit damage is 10% crit damage. You know, if you've already got something like, you know, 40, 50% on your guy, that gets up to like 60% now. I mean, hey, when you're trying to do big crits, you know, every little bit is going to count, and it's only 200 mana prisms, and at the cost of 100 mana prism, you can get yourself the Leviathan 3-star command code that'll give you 100% HP regen and 1-star when attacking, which isn't the craziest thing to have, but hey, just put this on one of your DPSs that you just want them to get some marginal healing every now and then. And hey, the additional star is nice. You can also throw this on one of your solo servants, because again, even though it's not the craziest, you know, it's just the little things that add up. Hey, I've definitely lived on like 93 HP sometimes, and so having that 100 HP, you know, I don't know, 1 in 100 battles might come in to help you out. Now, there's also going to be quite a good pickup during this event. Now, I know a lot of people, probably like myself, are going to be saving for Huion. You know, that is the correct thing to do, in my opinion. You know, you go for those waifus over the meta, but there are some really good servants that are coming back during this pickup. Now, the first one is going to be Nemo coming back with Saber Fran, which I think is a fine rate up, but I probably wouldn't go for this one in particular, considering that the other two pickups are insanely good. As cute as Fran is, and as fun as she is to use, you're gonna have to kind of pass that one up unless you absolutely love her, because the one rate up that happens 2 days after Nemo starts is going to be Van Gogh and Lancer Raikou. Now, Lancer Raikou's okay. I think she's falling off a little bit with the times, but her kit it's fine. Like, if you want to use her, you can use her, it's whatever. But Van Gogh is absolutely dummy nutty. Again, I said this a couple of videos ago, but it's like Van Gogh's NP is so dummy nutty broken that you could almost disregard her skills and just summon for her just for the NP alone. I mean, she is hard carrying most of the foreigners, because if you spawn in as a foreigner now, you can always rely on having Van Gogh on your team to just spawn you in with 150 crit damage. Like, it's ridiculous, because she already gives everybody crit damage, but then if you're just a foreigner, you just get 100% for free, for no reason. It's ludicrous. And then the thing is, even though you can disregard and just not look at her skills and she'd still be nutty, her skills are all really good is the problem. And so she is a phenomenal servant. Whether or not you want somebody to be a support and just kind of help out your other guys do an insane Morbillion amount of damage, or if you want to use her as a DPS herself, because you can do that. You can just let Van Gogh go in and just start critting everybody to a billion pieces. The only reason I would tell you to not go for Van Gogh, as good as she is one, if you're like me, you're saving for Huion, so you're not going to be summoning on this banner because you're going for waifu over meta, or you have a lot of servants that you want in the next upcoming year. Again, once we hit about that December-ish period and Lost Belt 7 starts, it's going to be a murderer's row of insanely powerful servants pretty much for the entirety of the next year. Because you have Lost Belt 7 into the collab event, into Anniversary, into summer, and then you also have the Gouda Gouda event. Like, you just have these insane servants that are releasing back to back to back, and then even peppered in there are really strong servants that kind of get swept under the rug because everybody else is so insane. Like, Wangina next year is really, really strong, but it's just, you have all these other just nutty, broken servants around them that she kind of gets forgotten. Or even, say, Pope Joanna, she's not a bad servant by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, when you're coming out after Lost Belt 7, and then you're also right before the collab event with Arcade, kind of hard to really say you're all that broken because, well, the other servants are just that much more better. Actually, I don't even think that was proper English, but you get what I'm saying. They're so good that they're making me mess up. So that'd be the only reason I would tell you not to go on that banner, is that if you're trying to go for some of these guys and you really want to snag a bunch of them, then you're probably going to have to start saving now, especially if you're free to play. Because consider, it is hard to pull the, hot take, it's hard to pull servants in this game. The sub 1% rate is a little crazy, some could say. But you might also skip out on Van Gogh because you might be going for Yang, because this Yang banner is kinda nasty with it. Yang herself is already a very strong DPS, and hey, if you're trying to go into Lost Belt 6 and you need somebody to take care of some Nunos for you, then Yang is gonna be your lady. I mean, she not only has command codes that just combo with her, skills and the way that she likes to play very well, but then you have stuff like Honey Lake, that whenever that does come back around, you can go ahead and summon for that, and that's just free power mod for her. It's just free bonus damage. I just said, here you go, Yang fans, you can just keep eating. But then you also have MHXX on this banner, and MHXX is one of those servants, again, I would consider her to kind of, I don't want to say falling off, because her damage is ridiculously good. She can churn out damage like nobody's business. It's just the fact that her kit is all like super one-turn based. I wish they would maybe chuck her a buff, even if it's simply just changing some of her buffs to being 3 turns. Like, I don't don't really think she needs more damage. She kind of has everything she needs. You know, she has the battery, she has survivability, you know, she has attack buffs, right? Like, she has stuff to, like, boost her damage. I mean, they even tossed her Pierce Invincible, so, like, she can just kind of hammer away at people. If you would just extend some of her buffs, I think that would go a long way for somebody like her. But, again, a very, very strong consolation prize if you're going on this banner, because they're both single-target art, so if you miss out on Yang, but you get, like, 1 or 2 copies of MHXX, that is definitely not an L by any stretch of the imagination. But that's basically it for the event and everything that we're going to be getting for this. So let me know if you're going to be summoning on either of these raid ups in the comment section down below, and hopefully you can use this as a catalyst of some sorts. I will probably go ahead and drop some videos on some of these servants that are coming out, because it has been a fat minute since I have, you know, just done a servant review in quite a long time, or a servant evaluation. So I'd kind of like to get back to doing some more of those. The bread and butter of the channel, I would like to say. So be on the lookout for a video like that hitting a sub box near you. Also, I would like to say, you know, I did a video on this a couple of days ago, but for the month of October, if you are a patron of any tier, which is linked down in the description down below, you are going to be invited to movie nights, which we are doing Sunday nights, where we're watching scary movies. Last Sunday, we watched Alien, and I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't actually as scary as I thought it was going to be, but hey, it almost gave me a heart attack, because I do not do suspense and drama and, you know, scary stuff like that. It is not my cup of tea. And this upcoming week, we're either going to be watching the second Aliens movie, or we're going to watch The Thing. I haven't really decided on which one I want to do next, but if you would like to be a part of that, you know, you can go down to the description down below, go to the Patreon, and you'll get immediately invited into the server, and you'll have access to the role and all that good stuff. So not only do you got a more direct line to yours truly, but you also get to be a part of some of these cool movie nights and stuff, because I thought I would like to do something for people that want to go that extra mile. But with all that being said, I think that's enough yapping for me. I mean, we're back to streaming Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. But yeah, basically done with the yapping. You guys have yourselves a nice rest of your day, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.